Title: The Mycelium of Resilience. Hook the Fall asterisk. The auditorium lights blazed as I stood under the spotlight, my trembling hands gripping a holographic display of my microbiology findings. Dr. Ilara Reyes accused of fabricating data on soil regeneration in Honduras, the lead voice echoed. Gasps rippled through the conference hall. Dozens of lab heads turned, their faces a mosaic of pity and judgment. From the front row, my aunt's sharp clap sliced the silence. Embarrassing again asterisk. Mom stood behind her whispering, asterisk, you lost the scholarship. Our legacy doesn't need this shame. I fled the hall, my heels splintering the hallway tiles, the weight of their scorn pressed against my ribs. Failures. I clenched the USB drive in my fist, the raw data unedited, uncorrupted by the committee's malice. I'd lose my job, my reputation, but as I rounded the corner, a passing janitor nodded, muttering, one day. The exodus asterisk. Miami's humidity clung to my skin as I uprooted my life. Aunt Clara sneered in a farewell voicemail, hope your friendship with mushrooms pan out, they're good listeners but bad diapers. Mom's final text was a grocery list circled with for the old man who finally makes a decision. I coughed into the Miami night, the taste of pepper and defeat lingering. I rented a shoebox-sized lab above a taco shop in Overtown. Experts at my old conference scoffed at my grant applications, asterisk urban mycology, adorable. When my first trial to clean the just-shuttered Coral Gables foundry failed, the soil's pH was lethal to Pleurotus ostreatus asterisk, funding evaporated. Yet I tweaked my strains, crossbred fungi in my bathtub worked dawn to dusk. Then the autocanoclave broke. I saved $200, skipped groceries, rerouted rent payments to a new incubator. By week 10, Ganoderma lucidum thrived, hyperaccumulating cadmium. The toxic spills began to yield. Roots. By year 5, my fungal farms were rewriting headlines. Miami's Julie Belea Canal, choked with arsenic from Soviet tanks, became a birch forest thanks to Tricholoma majus. A Tampa Superfund site scarred by oil spills blossomed with sunflowers and Schizophyllum commune asterisk mycelium, its pink spores soaring like sparks. I won the Goldman Environmentalist Award. When the Golden Gate Bridge mycologist group called, I hung up. Then came the invitation, a gala in Bangalore where my bioremediation blueprint would purify a drought-stricken valley. But I booked a non-stop to Miami, where Mom's birthday was that weekend. Confrontation asterisk. Turning the key to the front door, I froze. Mom stood in the doorway, immune to time's kindness, her pinstripe pants echoing with disdain. Didn't expect you'd live, she drawled. Dad sat on the couch, features as rigid as old stone. Lil, my 19-year-old sister, glared, chewing gum, still playing dress-up with dirt. I'm visiting, I ventured, clutching the drive. Junkie drug dog, Dad spat. I've cleaned ecosystems you'd sooner ignore, I said, spooning out slides. Lactate dehydrogenase boosts in a Costa Rican rainforest, a 70% drop in benzene at a Kansas dipstick farm. But you want proof. Show asterisk me asterisk, Lil snapped. I drove to the amusement island Bioplex, a decaying water park filled with landfill toxins. A single button read restore. Clicking it, a hologram unfurled. Footage of collapsed structures, then swamps giving way to emerald groves. 89% pollution reduction, the hologram chimed. Using asterisk Cerasomyces euglenoids discovered in what, a Walgreens parking lot, Dad jeered. I flew 900 miles to do this, I said, but you're right, not even real dirt. Silence, the only noise was the wind tearing through degraded nets. The bloom asterisk. They watched as the simulation pivoted. The once lean pool house now brimming with oyster mushrooms, their gills serrated like armor, terraced gardens where Ganoderma harnessed mercury from rusted beams. This is a scam, Mom muttered. Then, a knock, we turned. In the driveway, a husband and wife, a farming collective from the Bioplex, stood, caps in hand. Dr. Reyes, the wife said, your work, it's in asterisk our asterisk Cedar Grove. The toxins had crippled the soil. Now it's a lucrative market. They handed me a folder of contracts. Mom paled. Lil swallowed hard. Dad muttered a curse under his breath. Slowly, they climbed into my car, the drive crisscrossing wetlands where once stood industries. A billboard flashed, IYS EcoSYSDMS, 50-plus bioremediation projects globally. Resolution. In the quiet aftermath, Dad gripped the steering wheel, jaw slack. Should have never doubted. Mom's voice was hollow. The development she built, the gardens, the parks. They're thriving, Mom whispered, like they've been given a chance, like asterisk you well. She gestured to my home, a stucco bungalow smothered in arborista pine. Real mushrooms sprouted on the walls. We sat, but Punk Lil wouldn't meet my eyes. Say sorry, she dared. I don't think that's what matters, I said, scooping a asterisk pleurotus pearl asterisk from my cup. Do you think Karma's ledger belongs to the earth, though? She blinked, then ripped her number from the drive. Epilogue: the fulvic future. That night the doubters' texts buzzed, apologies, offers, pity. I deleted them. Instead, I consoled myself with the silence of the mycelium below ground, threads of resistance weaving back to the soil, indifferent to mockery. Success, I learned, isn't just about proving others wrong. It's about holding to your vision's roots, deep, dark, unbroken, until they pierce through any tarry rot. The fungi don't care for social graces. They simply bide their time, devouring decay to birth renewal. As the monsoon season broke, I watched fireflies flicker over my debut project, a mountainside ravaged by a 200-year-old strip mine. A single tweet caped across the sky. MAFIOFIYS, 11% hydrophobic MUSHROMS ready for launch. My family's silence had been the opening act. Now, the world got its encore. Word count *998. Tone * emotionally charged, refracted through vengeance and renewal, the ending's insight. Perseverance isn't just a personal triumph, it's ecological justice in motion, and the family's reluctant awe whispers what we all dread, the fury of underestimated purpose.